sometimes need to work out problems involving numbers written in standard form. Hello everyone, this is our junior certificate mathematics lesson. My name is Rewani Khare. I'm with a learner, Theko, who will be helping me in today's discussion. Before we continue with our discussion, let us have a look at the lesson objectives, because the objectives guide the discussion. The lesson objectives. The lesson objectives simply say solving problems involving numbers expressed in standard form. That is, we are going to have situations where a number is expressed in standard form, and then we are expected to simplify such expressions. Now, before we can move on with this, let us have a look at what standard form really are. It says a number is in standard form if it is written in the form m times n to the power n. And we need to note that here, the n should either be a positive or negative number. In this case, it is either a negative or a positive integer. And then, let me invite Theko here to ask a question so that we can develop in our discussion.
Good day, viewers. Addition and subtraction are the basic operations that come to my mind. How do you add and subtract numbers expressed in standard form?
Thank you, Theko. You are saying, how do we add or subtract numbers expressed in standard form? An example here with me will help in answering that question. Let us have a look at it and then work it out. It says 4.7 times 10 to the power 5 plus 3.5 times 10 to the power 4. So we can see 4.7 times 10 to the power 5 is in standard form, and then 3.5 times 10 to the power 4 is also in standard form. But then we are to add this. So how do you work this one out? First, when you are to add numbers given in standard form, you need to change the numbers in standard form into ordinary form. Then after changing them to ordinary form, you can add those numbers. Then after adding and getting the answer, you change your answer back to standard form. So let us work out this one. 4.7 times 10 to the power 5. How do we change this to an ordinary number? It will be 4, 7. The point is here. So we need to move this point 5 times to the right. So this will be 4, 7, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there has to be the last is 0. The point is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when we write 4.7 times 10 to the power 5 as an ordinary number, it becomes 470,000 plus, because there's a plus there, 3.5 times 10 to the power 4. We need to change 3.5 times 10 to the power 4 into an ordinary number. And then when we change 3.5 times 10 to the power 4 into an ordinary number, we'll get, the point is here, we need to move the point to the right. And then how many steps are we moving the point? 4 steps to the right, because the power is positive. So this will be 3, 5, 0, 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 470,000 plus 35,000. So you can simply carry out the simple operation that you know. It's 4, 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 470,000 plus 35,000. 1, 2, 3, then 5 here, 3. And then we are to add, because it says add this. 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus this 0 is 0, 0 plus this is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5, 7 plus 3 is 10, then carry 1, 4 plus 1 is 5. So what we get is 5, 0, 5, that is 5,005, 505,000. This is the answer. And then we need to change this to standard form. When changing this to standard form, because the question was given in standard form, so after getting our answer, we need to make sure that we convert the answer back to standard form. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5.5. It's not 5.5, but 5.05. 5.05 5 times 10 to the power what? The point is here. So how many times do we move to get 5.05? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we moved 5 steps. So this is 5.05 times 10 to the power 5. This is in standard form. This is how you add numbers in standard form. You start by changing numbers into their ordinary form. Then if you are to add, you add. If you subtract, you subtract. Let us have a look at another example. Another example is this. 3.15 times 10 to the power 2 plus 7 times 10 to the power 3. So we just need to change this into an ordinary number. 3.15 times 10 to the power 2. Change it to ordinary number. It will be 315 plus, and then 7 times 10 to the power 3. Write 7 times 10 to the power 3 as an ordinary number. When you write 7 times 10 to the power 3 as an ordinary number, you will get 7,000. So it's 315 plus 7,000. So this is the simple addition that you know. It's just 7,000 plus 315, and then remember you are adding, so this will be 0 plus 5 is 5, 0 plus 1 is 1, 0 plus 3 is 3, and then a 7 here. So it's 7,315. And you need to change this into standard form because the question was given in standard form format. So you need to change this answer into standard form. The point is here, so you need to move it so that there will be one digit before the point. And then this will be 1, 2, 3. This is 7.315 times 10. And then how many times do we move to the left? 1, 2, 3. So it's 7.315 times 10 to the power 3. This is how we change, this is how we add numbers expressed in standard form. Now, let us have a look at this. 8.93 times 10 to the power 3 minus 7.8 times 10 to the power 3. So here is not addition but subtraction now. So you need to start by changing this number also into ordinary form. So when we change 8.93 into an ordinary number, it will be 8930. 1, 2, 3. The point will be here. So you are multiplied by 10 to the power 3, and then this simply means when we change 8.93 times 10 to the power 3 into an ordinary number, it will be 8,930. Minus, change 7.8 times 10 to the power 3 into an ordinary number. This will give us 7800. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 7800 is 7,800. And then we are to subtract. So how do we subtract? This is the simple operation that we all know. It's 8930 minus 0087. And then we are subtracting. 0 minus 0 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3. 9 minus 1, minus 8, rather not 1, it's 1. And then 8 minus 7 is 1. And then the answer is 1,130. You need to change this into standard form. And then when we change this into standard form, the point is here. You are going to move 1, 2, 3. So 3 steps to the left. So this will be 1.13 times 10 to the power 3. We have moved 3 steps to the left. 1, 2, 3. This is how you add or subtract numbers in standard form. When you add or subtract numbers in standard form, you simply need to change them into their ordinary form, then add or subtract. Let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with our lesson. Welcome back from the short break. Remember, we are still discussing standard form, and here we are solving problems involving standard form. Let me invite Theko to ask a question so that we may continue with our discussion.
Thank you, sir. I want us to discuss the multiplication of numbers in standard form. Can you please give examples?
Thank you, Theko. You are saying, but then how do we multiply numbers in standard form? Let us have a look at the example here. It will help us understand better the multiplication of numbers in standard form. The example is 4 times 10 to the power 8 times 6 times 10 to the power negative 3. Now, the rule is, when you multiply numbers in standard form, you group the numbers together and then add the powers of 10. So here, we will have 4 times 6. We group the numerical numbers. So it's 4 and a 6. We'll take this 4 and the 6, then multiply them. And then multiply this by 10 to the power 8 plus negative 3. We group the numbers together and then add the powers of 10. So this will be 4 times 6 is 24 times 10 to the power 8 plus negative 3. 8 plus negative 3 is the same as 8 minus 3. So this will be times 10 to the power 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. So that will be 10 to the power 5. But then, this is not in standard form because we still have 24 here. Remember, for a number to be standard form, there should only be one digit before the point. So this then will be 2.4 times 10. Because when we write 24 in standard form, it becomes 2.4 times 10 times 10 to the power 5 times 10 to the power 5. And then this will be 2.4 times 10 to the power 6. This is 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 5. The laws of Winters says when you multiply numbers with the same base, you add the powers. So this is 10 to the power 1, 10 to the power 5. So we'll just add 1 and 5. Then this will give us 2.4 times 10 to the power 6. This is how we simplify, or rather work out numbers in standard form. Let us have a look at another example. Another example is this. 4.4 times 10 to the power 3 times 2 times 10 to the power 5. So here, 4.4 times 10 to the power 3 is in standard form. Also, 2 times 10 to the power 5 is in standard form as well. So how do we multiply this? We will group the numbers together, work out the numerical value, then add the powers of 10. So here, this will be 4.4 times 2. We group the numbers together. So this 4.4 and 2 will be grouped together to give us 4.4 times 2 times 10 to the power 3 plus 5. We add the powers of 10. So is this 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 5. Now when we add the powers, it becomes 3 plus 5. And then 4.4 times 2 times 10 to the power 3 plus 5. 4.4 times 2 is 8.8 times 10 to the power 8. It's 8.8 times 10 to the power 8. This is now in standard form. This is how we simplify numbers expressed in standard form. All you need to do is to group the numbers together and then add the powers of 10. Let us have a look at another example. It says the mass of one atomic group of particles is 2.275 times 10 to the power negative 14 grams. Calculate the total mass of 200 groups of particles. So it says the mass of one is 2.275 times 10 to the power negative 14. Now, what about 200 groups of particles? If one is 2.275 times 10 to the power negative 14, now if they are 2,000. It means we have to multiply this by 2,000. We need to multiply by 2,000 grams. And then this is 2.275 times 10 to the power negative 14 times. We now need to convert the 2,000 into standard form. And then when we convert 2,000 to standard form, the point is here. And then you are going to move 1, 2, 3. So this will be 2 times 10 to the power 3. 2,000 in standard form becomes 2 times 10 to the power 3. So we are now multiplying, and it appears a little bit simpler now. So this will be 2.275 times 2. We group the numbers together, times 10 to the power. In fact, this is supposed to be 14, not negative 4, but 14 times 10 to the power negative 14 plus 3. And then this will be 2.275 times 2. 2 times 5 is 10, carry 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, carry 1. 2 times 2 is 4, then plus 1 is 5, then 2 times 2 is 4. And then how many decimal? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the point will be here. So it's 4.550 times 10 to the power minus 14 plus 3. Minus 14 plus 3. This is minus 11. And then our answer is 4.55 times 10 to the power negative 11. This is what we were expected to calculate. Now, all that you need to understand is when you multiply numbers in standard form, you group the numbers together and then add the powers of 10. That's what you should know. Let us go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the lesson here. Welcome back from the short break. Remember, we are still discussing standard form, and I'm still with the learner here, Theko, who is helping me in today's discussion. And let me give her this opportunity to ask one more question before we close this lesson.
I am very thankful, sir, for the explanation you are giving. But one more thing, what about dividing numbers in standard form?
Thank you, Theko. You are saying, what about dividing numbers in standard form? Numbers in standard form can also be divided. Let us have a look at the example that we are having here to elaborate on how numbers in standard form are divided. The example says 5.6 times 10 to the power 11 divided by 7 times 10 to the power 8. So we are dividing. Just like in multiplication, what we are going to do here, we are going to group the numbers together. And then after grouping numbers together, because it's division, we will subtract the powers of 10. So here we are going to have 5.6 divided by 7, because it's division, times 10 to the power 11 divided by 10 to the power of 8. This is what we are having. And then we work out what is 5.6 divided by 7. This is 5.6 divided by 7 times 10 to the power 11 divided by 10 to the power 8. This will be times 10 to the power 11 minus 8. It says when you are working with powers of 10 where the base is the same, what we simply need to do is to subtract the powers. So this will be 5.6 over 7 times 10 to the power 8. Rather, times 10 to the power 11 minus 8. And then this is 5.6 divided by 7 times 10 to the power 11 minus 8 is 3. And then we need to work out what 5.6 divided by 7 is. This is 0.8. 5.6 divided by 7 is 0.8 times 10 to the power 3. But then the question is 0.8 times 10 to the power 3 in standard form? It's not, because when we check 0.8, there is no digit before the point. So we have to write 0.8 in standard form. And then that will be 8.0 times 10 to the power negative 1 times 10 to the power 3. 0.8 in standard form is 8.0 times 10 to the power negative 1. This simplifies to 8.0 times 10 to the power minus 1 plus 3. We add the powers. The bases are the same, 10 to the power negative 1 times 10 to the power 3. So the bases are the same. What we simply need to do is to add the powers. This will be 8.0 times 10 to the power minus 1 plus 3 is 2. So this is the answer, 8.0 times 10 to the power 2. This is how we divide numbers in standard form. We might as well look at another example to elaborate more on this. Another example is this, 2.75 times 10 to the power 7 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power negative 4. This is in standard form. Also, this part is in standard form. So we need to work it out. We start by grouping the numbers. So this will be 2.75 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power 7 divided by 10 to the power negative 4. This is negative 4. We are grouping the numbers and then the powers of 10 together there. Now, this will be 2.75 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power 7 divided by 10 to the power negative 4 is just 10 to the power 7 minus 4. It's minus because we are dividing, and when we divide you subtract the powers. So this will be 2.75 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power 7 minus 4 becomes 10 to the power 7 plus 4. Negative times negative is positive, so it becomes 7 plus 4, and then this will be 2.75 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power 11. Yet you are not through here because you still have 2.75 by 2.5. So you can take your calculator, find out what 2.75 divided by 2.5 is. So this will be 2.75 divided by 2.5, and then that's 1.1. It's 1.1. Now this simply means it's 1.1 times 10 to the power 11. This is the final answer. So this is how you divide numbers in standard form. We are about to come to the end of our lesson, but before we end it, let us have a look at the objectives that we said we are supposed to cover. The objective said solving problems involving numbers expressed in standard form, and we have done exactly that. We covered addition and subtraction of numbers in standard form. When you add numbers in standard form, you need to convert the numbers into the ordinary form, then add or subtract. And then from there we covered multiplication of numbers in standard form. When you multiply numbers in standard form, you need to group the numerical values together, then add the powers of 10. And then for division, you group the numerical values together and then subtract the powers of 10. That's what we expect you to do. We have come to the end of today's lesson, and I believe you have learned a lot from this lesson. Keep revising standard form. We have come to the end of today's lesson. Please keep revising standard form. From me, have a good day and enjoy. Bye-bye.